Okay, let's look at a couple of words on our statement of cash flow. So we have a statement of cash flows, and we're going to categorize these flows as either operating, investing, or financing. And we're going to either add or subtract, that's called netting, these three activities. We're going to add those together to get our total cash flows. We're going to add that to our beginning cash found on our balance sheet, and that together should equal our ending cash. So that number becomes our check figure. So why do we need to know about this from versus used for? Well, for operating activities, we may have a net increase or net decrease from operating activities, and sometimes on the test, there may not be a plus or a minus. You'll need to look at the words to see. So let's say for operating activities, if it were to say cash flow from operating activities, so that would indicate that there was a net increase because you had more cash. What that means is you had more cash coming in than going out from operating activities. Now, if it were to have said cash flow used for operating activities, then that would indicate that we had a net decrease from our operating activities. It's the same for the rest of these. If cash flows from investing activities would be a net increase in investing activities. An example would be we must have sold more of our long-term assets than we used cash to purchase them. If it was a net decrease, we would call it cash flows cash flows used for investing activities. So I've typed that in there. What I want to say is that these words give us a big hint as into whether or not it's a net increase or net decrease. Just to give you an example of financing activities, if we had a net increase for financing, then we must have issued out more stock than we paid out in dividends and or paid out for our long-term liabilities. If we had a net decrease, it would be the opposite. We must have paid out more for these financing activities than what we brought in. So this is how we use the words net increase and net decrease. Let me know if you have any questions.